The Firewood Dilemma. Tom and Jake had been planning this hiking trip for months. A few days deep into the Canadian wilderness, surrounded by towering trees and crisp mountain air, they came across a remote log cabin tucked away near a serene lake. It was old, clearly abandoned, but seemed sturdy enough to offer shelter for the night. "Looks like a perfect place to camp," Jake said, shouldering off his backpack. "Yeah, and it's getting dark. We should settle here for the night," Tom agreed. The cabin had no firewood, and the chill in the air was starting to bite. The sun was setting fast, casting long shadows through the forest. "I'll go find some firewood," Tom volunteered. "You go try your luck fishing. We'll need food." Jake grinned, grabbing his fishing rod. "Sounds like a plan. I'll catch us something tasty." With that, they split up. Jake wandered off to the lake, while Tom ventured into the woods, keeping an eye out for fallen branches or dry wood he could gather. The forest felt dense and peaceful, the kind of stillness where every step seemed to echo. Tom walked deeper into the woods, finding bits of dry timber and snapping off a few branches. The air was growing colder, and his breath puffed in front of him in little clouds. Just as he bent down to pick up another piece of wood, a deep, rumbling growl sounded behind him. His blood froze. Slowly turning his head, Tom saw it, a massive brown bear. Its eyes locked on him, its thick body blocking the narrow path back toward the cabin. For a moment, both stood still. Tom's heart raced, but he knew better than to run. He tried to back away slowly, but the bear let out a loud, earth-shaking roar and lunged forward. Tom bolted, panic seizing him. He darted between the trees, his feet pounding against the ground, the bear crashing through the undergrowth behind him. His breath came in ragged gasps as he sprinted downhill, the forest floor uneven beneath him. Suddenly, the ground gave way beneath his feet. He had reached the edge of a steep ledge, and with a yelp, he tumbled down. His body hit the rocks and dirt hard, rolling down the slope, branches and stones scratching at him as he fell. When he finally came to a stop, his ankle throbbed, and his side was bruised, but he was alive. The bear, unable to follow, stood at the top of the ledge, grumbling in frustration before turning back into the woods. Groaning, Tom pushed himself up, wincing at the pain in his ankle. He limped his way back up the slope, moving as quickly as he could manage, glancing over his shoulder every so often to make sure the bear hadn't circled back. By the time he made it back to the cabin, the sun had dipped below the horizon, and the sky was bathed in twilight. He pushed open the door to find Jake grinning by a roaring fire, fish already cooking on a makeshift grill. "Where the hell have you been?" Jake asked, laughing. "I thought you'd be back before me." Tom, breathing heavily, collapsed onto a nearby chair. "I ran into a bear." Jake's eyes widened. "A bear? Are you serious?" Tom nodded, rubbing his sore ankle. "Chased me right off a cliff. I've never run so fast in my life." Jake burst out laughing, unable to help himself. "And here I was, worried about catching fish. You had a full-on adventure." Tom chuckled too, the adrenaline slowly fading. "Yeah, well, at least we both made it back. And we've got a fire and dinner. Could have been a lot worse." They sat by the fire, eating the fish Jake had caught and joking about their misadventures. The crackling of the fire and the warmth inside the cabin made the night feel safe again. But just as Tom was about to take another bite, a loud crash shook the door. The two men froze. The door burst open, and standing there in the dim light of the fire was the massive silhouette of the bear, its eyes gleaming in the flickering flames. For a moment, neither man moved, their hearts hammering in their chests. Then the bear let out a low growl, stepping into the cabin as the firelight danced across its fur.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please consider subscribing to support the channel. See you next time.